Hey guys, so last year, this side hustle made me hundreds of thousands of dollars and over 1 million in the last 2 years. So in this video, I'm going to break down what it is, why it works, and how it works, and then finally, how anyone can really achieve this. Now, just a disclaimer, guys, I hate the word side hustle. I don't think that's the right mentality to take with building any business or any project because you're always going to have the assumption that you have to put in a little bit of effort, right? But I say side hustle in this video because I did it while working a full-time job. Now, fortunately, in the last 2 years, I've been able to quit that job and focus on this full-time and my other business full-time. So I'm going to break these down for you, and hopefully you find value in this so you can do the same thing. So the business model is Airbnb, arbitrage, and co-hosting, but mainly arbitrage. Now, if you've never heard of this concept, this is a very, very simple concept where you basically build a scalable Airbnb portfolio that cash flows you lots of money each month. Right? It's no surprise that Airbnbs can have a really high income potential, but the issue that we all have and most people have is we don't have the capital to buy a bunch of properties. Especially in this market, buying an investment property could be 40, 50, 60, $70,000 down, and it may only cash flow $500-600, right? Which really isn't enough to make a dent in your lifestyle if your objective is to be more free. Now, again, I say this all the time. I love real estate investing as more of a long-term passive investment for down the line, in 30 years when the house appreciates and you can sell it for lots of capital gains and whatnot. But the thing is, if your objective is to live more freely, be a little bit more autonomous with your time, you need more cash flow, right? You need 10K a month coming in, not a property that's worth 500,000 in 30 years. So that introduces the idea of Airbnb arbitrage. Now, how does this work? It's a very simple concept where I will rent a property from a landlord. I will furnish that property and then list it on Airbnb. So then each month I will profit the difference between the Airbnb revenue and the rent that I have to pay with the landlord plus expenses. I'm actually down here in Philly right now because I'm furnishing a 36 unit Airbnb arbitrage deal. So I was given 36 apartments that I can now do this with. But guys, I'm about 1.5 years, 2 years into my journey, so this type of opportunity doesn't come right off the bat. But what can work right off the bat are doing this with regular single family homes and working with everyday landlords or real estate investors. So before I dive too deep in how you can actually achieve this, I want to kind of break down the math so you understand the realism of this. If I find a property that has the potential to do about $5,000 in revenue per month on Airbnb and it rents for about $2,000 a month, factor in some additional expenses like cleaning, utilities, that could be another $1,000 per month realistically. So that leaves us though with a monthly cash flow of $2,000 per month. Now that's really, really good, especially considering the average real estate investment property doesn't yield nearly that much, right? So the really cool thing about this though, guys, is there's really several reasons why this is such a great business model and it works so well. So like, for example, it's very scalable. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that if I want to grow my portfolio, I just do that with more properties and I don't need lots of capital in order to do that. So if I sign a lease on my first property, I get it up and running, I put it on Airbnb, it starts cash flowing. Then if I want to repeat the process, I don't need to save up another 50K. I just sign another lease. And that kind of brings me to my next point, which is like, you don't need much capital at all to do this. Now, furniture is an expense if you're arbitraging a property, but you do not need to pay out of pocket in order to do that, right? So one of the things that we would do is just create an LLC. We would take that LLC and we would sign up for a business credit card that has 0% interest. And then we would just take that card and buy the furniture with it. This is great because now I can keep all the money in my bank account and I just leverage 0% interest debt to get the furniture. So now as your property starts cash flowing $2,000 a month, you can pay down that furniture cost within 3-4 months and then just repeat the process. And that's the beautiful thing about this. Now, the other thing I really like about this business model though, is the marketing is practically done for you, right? So if you were to try to go into like drop shipping or e-commerce or YouTube automation or one of these other business models, you have to get really good at marketing. And I don't think a lot of people talk about this a lot until you actually pay the $5,000 and you get into the course. But the thing is, you have to be really good at how to run Facebook ads, Google ads, Google AdWords, search engine optimization. You need to understand how to drive traffic to these things. That costs thousands of dollars per month, first off. Second off, you also have to understand how to read that data and do that analytics. And by the way, that's something you're going to be doing every day, not every month, but every day. You're going to be looking at your ad accounts to see where things are at. And guys, that's not really passive either, right? So you've got to develop all these skills. You've got to pay thousands of dollars a month in ads. You also have to pay thousands of dollars a month in inventory, not to mention the profit margins are pretty slim. So when it comes to the Airbnb arbitrage model, that's the wonderful thing about it, is the marketing is almost done for you, meaning I list it on the Airbnb platform and it really does most of what I need for me. I don't need to be a marketing expert. I just need to know how to make a good listing and market it the right way, meaning take good photos, do interior design, and make sure I chose a property that'll be desirable. And that's pretty much it. Now, the other thing that I found that I really like is that it's more once and done, at least per property. Like, if I were to do day trading, for example, right, I would have to trade each day. And then the second I take a week off, I don't make any more money. I only get money for the work that I put in, right? Whereas with a model like Airbnb arbitrage, I do all the work to find the property and get it listed. After that, it just cash flows month after month. So you kind of do the work once and then it pays for itself for several years. And I hate to throw this term out because it really gets beat to death and it's not often true, but I will say this is the most passive business model I genuinely think exists on the planet. And the reason for that is in today's age, there are so many software tools that you can plug into your Airbnb business that allow it to run itself. For example, Turno, it's a platform where I can find cleaners, integrate them into my Airbnb listing, and then it automatically notifies them of all the bookings in real time. Another one is Price Labs, right? So this is a software that connects to my Airbnb listing and automatically fluctuates the pricing daily so it always stays booked, always stays competitive. And then the icing on the cake is you can hire really, really great virtual assistants over in the Philippines or India to basically work full-time hours for $400, $500, $600 a month and actually do all of the guest interaction for you as well. And some of them are even ex-Airbnb employees, so they already understand the system. They're great with customer interaction. It's honestly just a great time to have the technology to build this type of business. It's awesome. So it's really, really passive. I mean, yes, I still interact with it maybe 1 to 2 hours a week. I still have to chime in on certain guest issues and things like that here and there. But for a business model that can produce 5 figures a month in cash flow for me to tap into at 1 to 2 hours a week, that's pretty ridiculous. So to be a little bit more specific about the income figures that I earned and to kind of break down the specifics of my first and second year in this business, I'll kind of walk you through what that looked like. So again, I was working a full-time job, right? And a very intensive full-time job, but I really wanted to create this income stream to free myself up so I could just pursue entrepreneurship. So basically, I realized that in order for me to leave, I would need maybe $15K per month, right? So very, very simple, guys. I just need maybe either 15 properties that cash flow about $1,000 a month, or I need less than that if they cash flow $2,000 a month or more. Some properties do, some properties don't. And I've gotten so much better at understanding the analysis over the last couple of years on predicting exactly how much properties make. But putting that all aside, I was able to get to my first 19 properties in year 1 with the help of a business partner, of course. So we were able to split up our time a little bit and get really intense. But I'll be honest, all of those 19 properties stemmed from about 3 months, just about 3 months of actually doing property outreach and talking to property owners and landlords. So how that works is we simply would find properties for rent. We make sure that they fit what we like. We reach out to the property owners and say, hey, I run a short-term rental company and I'd like to rent your property. Now, I'm already anticipating some of you guys saying, why would they ever do that? But the thing is, it's actually such an incredible benefit for the landlord. Think about it this way. What do landlords lose sleep over, right? Evictions, late rent, bad tenants, the property's kept a mess, and vacancy, not having somebody in the property, or waking up to the call in the middle of the night about the leaky toilet from their tenant. Guys, when you run an Airbnb arbitrage unit or a short-term rental arbitrage unit out of a landlord's home, all of that is gone, right? You're paying on-time rent every month because it's your cost of doing business. The place is kept super clean. You have cleaners in there regularly. The property is now totally automated for them. It is truly passive for them, and they don't have to pay a property manager. They're getting the full rent. So there's a lot of reasons that landlords would want to work with you, and if you present it that way, not only can you land properties quickly, but you can even get 1 to 2 months rent for free sometimes. A lot of those same landlords, or the people that we talked to during that 3-month period, would offer us units throughout the rest of the year and even into this next year. So it's funny, this 36 unit apartment deal that I'm working on now even stemmed from those first few months of having conversations with landlords and property owners. And that's really the power of this business model or any business model. It's about having conversations with people, telling them what you do, how you can help them, and eventually word will spread, especially if you do a good job. Now, fortunately for you guys, we've got a whole YouTube channel dedicated entirely to how to do this, from landing your first property, from analyzing properties, from automation and everything. So there's tons of free resources on this YouTube channel, or I've got some more for you. If you go to the link in the description here, you can even join our free Facebook group where we will coach people for free. So we actually go live in the Facebook group twice a week. We share our students' deals and go over their analysis together so you know how to do it yourself. And we even answer questions in real time. So that's a great place to get some help if you're looking to get started. Now, just because I haven't really broken down the math, in that first 3-month period, just from those 10 properties we acquired, that panned out to be about $250K in revenue in less than that 6 months. Less than my first 6 months in business with this. By the end of the year, we had 19 properties, and within the next 12-year cycle, it was now a 7-figure portfolio, and that was way before we got into massive deals and opportunities like this. And that was only in 2 years, guys. So in all honesty, there's a lot of business models out there, right? There's a lot of options to make money online. There's a lot of options for getting into real estate, doing wholesaling, doing e-com, doing YouTube automation, whatever it is. And I think despite what side hustle you're considering, I would just pick one and go for it, because I sat on the other side of a camera just like you guys, or the other side of the YouTube screen just like you guys, and I would watch people talk about these things, and I eventually just said, okay, they've got to work. They all have to work. I'm just going to pick one and get started. So whether it's Airbnb arbitrage or one of these other ones, I think just be decisive. Just pick one and go after it. You're going to make mistakes. It's going to take you some time to learn. You can definitely pay a coach or a mentor to learn things more quickly and avoid mistakes. But either way, guys, just jump into something. Just do something. Because if you don't, 6 to 12 months down the line, you're going to come across another video like this, and you're going to say, if I just would have started when I saw the video the first time, I would be at least 30% to my goal. So guys, I hope this was helpful. Obviously, lots of content here for you if you like this type of stuff. And if you're interested in doing Airbnb arbitrage, this account is all about that. Guys, thank you very much.